not you count as an American, which is very ironic given the context of ICE and the situation in Minneapolis. But yeah, and after that, Ludwig would go on his stream and start talking about the situation, calling Los Polos a loser, and he describes how for the rest of his life he wants to make sure he's more successful than him.
Yeah, and then Slime and fucking Connor reply, Los, stop, bro, this isn't you. Let him hear it, Los, we support you. I think he has a very human feeling right now. I think in life, when you see someone you don't like succeed, you kind of prey on their downfall.
Yes.
I think that's a pretty human thing. We've all preyed on people's downfalls
CPU,
before.
RAM, GPU.
But it took me a long time. It took me like 25 years probably. It probably took me maybe even 26, 7 years. It took me a long time to realize
7.
that is loser behavior. Losers prey on people's downfall. Winners try to become more successful than the people that they're preying on the downfall of. And I'll do everything in my power to be more successful than Los Polos till I die.
That's a pretty interesting and, well, hypocritical point of view there, where he's saying this guy is a loser for preying on his downfall, but Ludwig is a winner because he wants to dedicate the rest of his life to being more successful than him. It's basically the flip side of the same coin. Like, I don't understand what he's talking about. But anyways, we got some, what do they call it? Demon mode. That's what Mizkif describes himself as, given the recent controversies he's facing. But this is much more like that phrase actually implies, where he directly added all of the content creators who were saying negative things about him as a result of his comments about ICE and the situation in Minneapolis. And the first one we would see would be calling out Ludwig. And he would say this: who's next on the list? Ludwig, get back in your cuck chair in the corner, buddy. Stay the F out of grown men business. You're the fakest person I've ever seen grace the internet. I can't wait till someone tweets a clip of you treating a waiter like crap. And you might notice the chair comment here. Yeah, there's a reason why people say this about Ludwig. Cutie Cinderella, his girlfriend, seems to have a very interesting infatuation with Hassan, who displays some pretty disturbing behavior that Ludwig thinks is very crass.
Hassan.
Crass.
Naughty.
Hassan is naughty.
Addicted to Zins. Posts his package online. Tells his friends to...
What is this? Where's my gaming peripherals? Ah, yes, the stress. The stress bee. Thank you. First things first, shop. Nothing good. Then HQ. What's inside? Stream 17 hours. There's no way she's not live. Modern appliances. House wash, yes. CPU, RAM.
And you know what? Maybe steak is mid 90% of the time. Shit, Joey.
Thank you. Finally,
Shit.
we can agree.
A good smoked brick.
What's the latest video? I didn't see it yet. Anime recommendations. I didn't watch the 2026 one.
I'll be like,
sorry, buddy, I don't know you.
Sorry, what's your name?
I don't know you.
You're like, get the DNA test out.
You
Get the 23andMe right now.
The third customer.
Pull up your ancestry.com right now.
Oh, I heard something in this shop, the marriage shop.
Yeah, you know, fuck you.
It was there.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, bro.
Because I feel like people only second cousins invoke the cousin card when they want some shit.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, real second cousins don't message you ever, and then
Yeah.
maybe you get like a fun
Guess I
Facebook
missed it.
message 50 years down.
I
What
saw you
is-
on TV, cousin.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What is a
Let's
second?
just play the game.
I don't know.
It's your cousin's cousin, all right?
It's a cousin.
Or it's
Oh
your
no,
cousin's,
that shit don't count.
or it's your cousin's child. I always forget which one is which.
Can we pull up the family tree here?
Look, if this is not immediately understandable,
The same great grandparents as you, but not the same.
nah, that doesn't count.
Okay, so it's,
that does not count.
yeah, so
That's
it's your
so far back.
yeah, so it's your grandparents' siblings' grandson or granddaughter.
Shit.
Yeah,
Bruv, this is why we just call everyone our cousins in Southeast Asia. Everyone's cousins, aunties, uncles.
Yeah.
We don't have time to we don't have time for this shit.
no. Again, I don't know any of my second cousins, so it's just like, yeah. If I met them, I would probably be like, "You're my cousin, I guess."
Yeah, so your parents and your second cousin's parents are
First
cousins.
This is so
Bro,
ass.
that's so fucking confusing, man.
So it's like layers, right? So if no matter how far away you are, like even if it's like your great grandparents' sibling who's like, you know, the sixth sibling or whatever, who's like all the way over here in the family tree, as long as you're sitting on the same horizontal, you're technically cousins.
So, okay.
But you don't keep up with you're not like texting your like cousins all the time. It's like if you see them at the gathering, you're like, "Yo, what's up?"
I mean, I text my cousins quite a lot now.
I think it depends on how much time you spent with your cousin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
I mean, we had a linchpin, which was my grandma. So we all had like a shared kind of like experience, which I think is important.
Yeah.
Because we all had something to bond over, which was, even though we were, you know, growing up over different sides of the world, with different experiences, we all had this shared experience of like going to grandma's house, and sometimes we were in the same place and sometimes we weren't. But you know, we felt it felt like a family, which is I think is important, even more than like bloodline, which is I'm so fucking thankful that my grandma like gave us that experience. And yeah, we still have like quite a strong bond. I'm gonna ask a question that is a lot less wholesome, but going on to like the second cousin thing.
Sure.
This is just purely just out of curiosity, right?
Okay.
So how far removed do you have to be for it to count as incest?
I think it is second cousin.
just-
It's like
I
limit.
think, yeah, I
it's the
think
limit.
second or third cousin is the limit, right?
I think in most
Morally,
places-
that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
in most places in the world, I think it's second cousin is like, I think where it's like the cutoff. I think.
Well, it's also like
it's,
dependent on
illegal.
the countries. Like, I think each country has like different rules or some shit.
Yeah, but like there's some places they're like, oh no, cousin doesn't count as incest, and I'm like,
shit-
fucking.
These kind of questions are like, we'll get you on the list. Okay, at what point is it not,
Not
incest?
incest.
Wait.
Yeah.
All right, let's see what the
All right,
Reddit
let's see what
says.
Reddit says. Too afraid to ask.
Blood relatives.
Yeah.
Yeah, but okay, how far removed? You know?
Yeah. Because like taking the whole like 6 degrees of separation thing out for a second,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, because the whole thing is like, oh, technically we're all related, but like, yeah, on a moral standpoint,
All right, it's okay. So yeah,
like second or
Google,
third.
just Google is second cousin incest. Just Google.
Let's just like cut the shit.
yeah.
Legally
speaking, no. But would
Yes.
you? Okay.
Yeah, legally speaking,
No, I would fucking not go. Okay, obviously I would not. Because you know why I wouldn't do it? Because someone in my family knows both of us. That's the problem I would have. It's not the fucking percentage of blood. It's just somebody fucking knows us both when we were kids. That's the problem.
That is true.
Bro.
Okay, in the United States, second cousins are legally allowed to marry in every state.
Yeah, because look, the bar used to be so low. The royal family used to
Yeah,
fuck brothers and shit, you know? So, like, the bar used to be so low. But they managed to get it all the way up to second cousins,
Yeah.
which, you know,
I'm sure they fought for that shit.
they fought for to stop that.
What do you mean I can't fuck my cousin? This is bullshit.
In the United States, second
Yeah,
cousin-
again, okay, legally speaking, second cousin is legal. But morally speaking, would you do it?
Fuck
no.
No.
Look, there's even if it's like third cousin, which I'm sure at that point, there's probably nothing there. But
Yeah.
like, just because you're saying a word that's
Crazy all the things we're
Yes,
talking about.
yes.
Yeah.
which is going to cause people
Yeah.
discomfort.
The moment I hear the word cousin, it's going to be immediate turn off.
Yeah.
I feel like third cousin. That's getting to the
God, is that what you're cool with it?
No.
He's like weighing the
No.
options.
Surely fourth cousin is fine.
Yeah. Fourth cousin is
Surely fourth cousin's fine.
fourth cousin is basically
I feel like fourth
a
cousin.
stranger.
Look, that's so many years ago.
I'm just thinking like hypothetical situation, or not even hypothetical, like small town, right?
Yeah.
Modern day small towns.
Call me out.
Modern day small towns. What's your degree of separation to the people in that small town? If you're like from a small community, right? It's gotta be. Surely it's gotta be. You know, second cousin, okay. Third cousin, you probably know someone who is unintentionally your third cousin. Maybe. It's a small town, right?
Reddit posts, people finding out that they like married their third cousin or married fourth cousin or something, and like asking like what they should do.
What they should do.
Like, should they tell their partner or something? Should
That we're technically blood.
Would you tell them? Somehow, God, what if you find out?
Well,
Cindy's your fourth
I'm
cousin.
very glad. I don't know.
Bloodline-wise, very
I feel glad
unlikely.
that it's highly unlikely that
the bloodline's mixed.
Yeah.
See, God and I, we played it safe. We were getting married to a person outside of our immediate.
But like, what if you, okay, hypothetically, somehow by a freak of nature, you are fourth cousins.
Yeah.
And you found out, and nobody else is ever going to find out.
Yeah.
But you've somehow found out. You saw something you shouldn't have. Would you tell your partner or would you die with it? I think I'd die with it.
I think I'd die with it. Because it's
God.
because nothing.
I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can live with that
God's
shit, man.
like, shit might make the marriage more enticing.
It might be hot. I don't know.
It might be hot.
But like, not even that. It's not that at all, actually. I don't know why I said not even that. But it's just like, could you like, how do you process that? Like, every time you look at your
I
partner.
think humans are really good at pushing things down. We're like super good at that. Like, as a species, we're like hella good at ignoring things.
I mean, look, if it was just like an offhanded, like, hey, by the way, I just found out we're fourth cousins, Lamau.
Is that how you broke into that? You know the movie theater where like you're like eating popcorn and then the movie gets so quiet and you just stop chewing it because you're like it's super loud.
Yeah.
It's like you're in the movie and then it goes quiet like and then it like what?
Like, if it was just like a once and done kind of thing of like, I've told you this information and we're not going to touch on it again. All right.
I'm gonna tell you something. You honey, you cannot bring this up ever
Can't
again.
bring it up ever again.
Hypothetical situation. All right, you find out Aki. You know, you are distantly related to Aki.
Sure.
What? How would you bring it up? You know, is it like during a dinner where you're like,
Honey, the turkey you made is great. By the way, we're fourth cousins. Pass the gravy.
yeah, honey,
I don't know. I think I'd just be like, okay, it's like fourth cousin.
yeah,
In this hypothetical situation.
Hypothetical situation.
It's like not even great grandparents. It's
Great grandparents.
I mean, come on, bro.
So it goes 4 generations
Are
back.
you like, honey, I found out something hilarious today?
Yeah, I would literally just be like, so you're not going to believe this.
Are you framing it as something hilarious?
I would
Like,
frame
I'm not
it.
serious. You're like, this is so funny.
I honestly, yeah. I think I would. Because I don't know, I can't imagine being in like a serious, like, I can't be like, honey, sit down, we need a talk. I just found out we're
Okay,
fourth
so
cousins.
like, let's say I'm cooking. I'm like, oh, I'm cleaning the dishes. How do you come in the room? You're like, I'm not cleaning the dishes. I'm like,
Yo. So, this is kind of crazy.
yes, Jelly.
So is that your argument? So I just found out something crazy at work today.
Oh.
We're fourth cousins. Or maybe I would lead it on first with like the same question we were asking each other of like, at what point is it incest?
I would ask like,
And then depending on their answer, I would either tell them or not tell them.
I'd be like, hey, do you know any of your fourth cousins? Now you do.
Now you do.
Me.
Yo, that's crazy.
No, I would ask them, be like, so is marrying your second cousin considered incest? And if she came back to me and was like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It could be third, fourth, fifth, I don't care. I think it's incest. And I'll be like, never mind. Then I'm not gonna tell them. But if they're like, oh yeah, it's whatever. It's fourth cousins. It's so many generations away. Then I'll be like, speaking of which.
So you're like, you'd keep on to the forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Depending on if they think it's a moral dilemma for them,
Yeah.
then I'm not gonna bring it up and ruin the mood.
Yeah.
You know, I'll die with that shit. But if they're cool with it and they're just like Lamau, fourth cousins, then I'll be like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'll tell them. You know?
Damn,
Wouldn't
man.
you do the same? Or would you just die with it no matter what?
I think I'd die with it.
You reckon?
That's
Fourth cousins.
Someone's gonna find out eventually.
Yeah, I think I've got to tell.
But then someone's gonna bring it up to me like, no way, that's crazy. No, for real?
Bro, just me and Sydney, like, I'll come in the room and she'll see a look in my eye and she'll be like, what is it?
Your cousins are weird. It's like she already knew. She had the suspicion and she's like, we're just
Knowing guard, he will like.
Yeah, she'll like, you know something, don't you? There's something you want to tell me. There's something you're holding on to.
I've never heard this term before.
Consanguine marriage.
Consent.
Is a marriage between individuals who are closely related. Though it may not involve incest, it implies more than the sexual nature of incest.
There's so much more laughing at this podcast, listening to this episode, but they're probably inbred. They might be inbred. What if someone's inbred? I'm probably inbred. I have the inbred disease.
Yeah, you do have the inbred disease.
You know, statistically speaking, based on
I
your
might be the most inbred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you didn't have to tell me that.
I'm
joking.
I'm looking
I'm
bad.
joking.
Oh god.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, if, for example, like, I wouldn't keep bringing it up though. Is the thing. Even if I did tell her,
Right.
Even if I did tell her, right? In this hypothetical situation where I told her, right?
Okay, wait. Why did you assume that I assumed you would keep bringing it up?
No.
I win.
Every time you have a
I think
conversation,
telling
that
Confirm.
information
I
like
need to
this to
upgrade
your
Napoli.
partner is like
Poor Napoli.
There's many caveats, right? I'm thinking about it, right? It's like, okay,
you're
if I just
inbred.
told her, like, this is the
Okay, let's
situation.
finish the battle.
Let's just like
I
let's
need to upgrade
acknowledge it, but let's not
fleet
bring it up ever
because-
again. Then I think it'd be like way less awkward, right? But if I every other week is just like, hey, let's compare
She's too weak. I need
grandparents, well,
someone
now
that's
we're
100.
related. Like, then yeah, it's gonna be fucking awkward.
It's not you.
I just have this image of just like you at
Oh,
dinner.
she's weak.
So we haven't talked about this.
24, 31.
This fourth cousin thing.
Yeah.
I feel like we haven't
we need
addressed
to
it
talk
yet.
about this.
It's like,
Yeah, we
grandma,
haven't-
grandma, can you explain
Fine.
what the fuck's going on?
Who's 100?
You know, so
All
Breast.
right, well,
Ooh, breast.
good to know
damn.
where we stand.
Mecklenburg.
on the incest matter.
Why did you bring that up?
Because we're talking about second cousins. And
We brought up family and God went incest.
no.
Yes.
How far down does it
Morgador.
go?
I guess I want to play with Morgador.
I was thinking about the old medieval days,
Kitakaze.
where it's just like,
Cousins.
okay, you look
Look
at
like
the
cousins, far enough.
you look at the family tree and you're like, where
Awakening.
is the moral lie here? Because you probably have to. This is your gene pool right here.
Yeah.
Oh, here. Let me get her to 6-star. Haha, just like that. 314. Ooh, number going up. Number going up. 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. You're welcome, Kitakaze. Yes, cute. Yes. Almost. Max 87. Oh, and it's not enough? I could just use coins. I don't have that many coins. Okay, I can do this. Treasure sugar. Oh. Oh, I'm out. Okay.
この子が気になる
Yes, Kitakaze.
いつかこの北風がじきに華麗に振ってみせようぞ
No, Kitakaze. Alright, you, I should be strong enough now. Unless... Queen Elizabeth. And... Is there another? Terror. Let's go.
大胆に飛ばせば突然燃え上がり守備を空間するわよやったもっとピンチ飛ばせば燃え上がりサンダーハートもっとピンチを飛ばせば燃え上がりサンダーハートもっとピンチを作らないともっとピンチを作らないと燃え上がりサンダーハート見ていてくださいねもっとピンチを作らないともっとピンチを作らないと任せて任せて愛のマジックよ先輩たち
Magic!
見ていてくださいね
Oh wait, my YouTube. Where's my chat?
I go with I'm a believer of the smell meter. You know, I wouldn't be attracted to anyone who is near my people because we're literally programmed.
私を止められる任せて必殺モードオン先輩たち見ていてくださいね
We were learning powerful spells in Walmart. Is that red apple into a green apple? Yeah! The most powerful wizard of the age. Who could have thought? Who could have imagined? What about turning it back though? Sometimes you want a red apple rather than the sour green apple. The green apples are tasty though, I will admit. Probably the better apple. Anyway, what's cracking, guys? And welcome to some good old anime memes. I'll be Captain Noble today because me cat clawed off me finger and now I had to replace it with a bandaged one, and this is as far as I can bend it. So I have a little hook finger today. Yo, live a like lad lubbers. What? Dog! She wants a man so bad, pulls him right out of the booper. Okay, dude. I didn't expect you to break a wall just for that. That's kind of a very vulnerable moment for a man on the can. It's sacred, I feel. Day after day, you cooked delicious meals for me. I gained 7 kilos. How dare you? Oh, I'm gonna beat you up for that. You make such good food. That's so rude of you. So this is something. News this weekend, Ontario will be one of the coldest places on Earth, with temps as low as -50 degrees Celsius. Holy mama. Apparently that cold front kind of looks like something. It's also named Fern. And then someone actually just put Fern on the top. Okay, man. I mean, I guess she could be a little bit cold at times. You know, that's kind of what she is. She's kind of always emotionally despondent. All right, so Jotaro seems to be sleeping, but his stand seems to be watching some, okay, samurai, and he rips his hair off to look like him, ties it back at the top knot, and Okay, look what you did. Yeah, he does it. Oh, man. Is that why he has to wear the cap? Is that what's going on? He has to wear the cap just to hide that so he doesn't look bald? No, Izuku, that was my food. He's just ripping Rain on the buckets. Look, man. I mean, Rain's just kind of paralyzed. I know, it's probably bad for Froppy. I don't know how I feel about that. That's kind of sad. I hope she doesn't eat bugs. That's not One Piece. Sorry, what is Sanji wearing? What's going on with Sanji? Oh my god, Chopper is an abomination too. What on earth? Is that the new Netflix version out there? Is that what I'm looking at? I don't know. Frieren and her little elf friend, and oh, they're in the mud. Oh. Did she just walk around barefoot and she liked the nasty mud or something like that? Honestly, I don't know. I feel like she had the spell, like prestidigitation to clean off the mud off her feet, or maybe she likes that. I don't know. What happened to your hairstyle, Sasuke? Do you need a mirror, Gaara? Honestly, Sasuke, he just got a little bit more emo. I feel like his hairstyle's fine. Gaara, on the other hand, nah.
I'll be crying if I look like that too, bro. That's fucked up what they be doing to y'all.
The elf you want, Frieren, sure, versus the elf you get, which is Western versus Eastern elf. They both have their charm, okay? They're both almost the same character, right? They don't realize their feelings for the human until it's too late, right? Oh, another married comic of a man and his girlfriend, okay. All right, doing the twin tails up with the hair. Playing some video games, and oh, instruction manual. Syra, she kind of looked like Hatsune Miku, I ain't gonna lie out there. Oh man, he had to pull off all the parts out here. Honestly, I have to say that the most unrealistic thing about this entire comic is the fact that she's sitting on his lap and not crushing everything with her 1,000-pound clinker pelvis. Honestly, I am just a little bit jealous. I mean, dang, this dude up here is arguing with hotel staff while dressed up as Vegeta. It's like an old filler episode of Dragon Ball Z. It's probably at a convention. I'm sure that people see this all the time if they host conventions nearby, but it is kind of funny. Armor looks good on him, though. The German name meanings in Journey's End. Iced means iron. Oh, stark and strong. That makes sense. Firm, distance. No. Hemel is heaven. That's not right. Wait. You can't just sneak that middle one in there. You think I was gonna notice that? All right, what does it actually mean? It's freeze. Okay. Okay. It didn't say like time's frozen for her or something. Okay. Food in the microwave. All right. She spit though. Look how many spit animations she got there. All right, she's gonna be done soon, I hope. It's gonna be good. You are a girl. You have to like feminine things. My girlfriend is pretty feminine. Hi. I mean, she ain't wrong. She does like feminine things, just slightly different, you know, than what you would imagine. And honestly, she still dresses kind of girly to begin with out there. She looks cute. Looking back, mimic. That's right. Okay, dude. That's actually one of the better ones I've seen done of this meme. Holy, that's a pretty good edit. The Deadpool comic, World's End Harem. Yeah, just ran in Jump Plus from 2006 to 2023. It's a sci-fi manga about the world and 5 billion women and only 5 men. 5 billion? Why such a ridiculous number? The men here can choose any woman they want, eh? Sounds vulgar, contemptible, and utterly nauseating. It's totally beneath me. Easy on the trash talk. We're in a collab with that manga. You only love yourself, so you wouldn't understand. But this is a dream world for male readers. And these parts, your boy is in high demand. So I'ma have me some fun. Hey, this is no time for fooling around. Oh man, you're male. Yep, I'm just what you've been craving. How about you and me mate tonight? On second thought, I'll pass. I'm so gone with that face. And they just flip the mask back down. And, oh man. Oh man, even in that form, they don't want him. That's 5 billion and still not want him. That's pretty rough, bro. I mean, you can just ask him to keep the mask on. I don't know. So Madhouse made Freeman looking up meme canon as she actually. It still looks a little bit silly. I ain't gonna lie. It's a nice angle to say the least. It's a bit silly though. Normalize drawing your favorite character with your problems. Okay. Gave Sasuke Uchiha a chronic Dr. Pepper addiction. Oh god. It's just drinking Dr. Pepper. That one girl sang a little ditty about Dr. Pepper and she got $2 million. So maybe they could get $2 million if Sasuke just drinks Dr. Pepper occasionally. I don't know. Could go viral. Jinshi-sama, do that thing I like. And he just leaves. Oh man. Mama, you can't do that to my man. You can't do that to her. I mean, I guess she's happy to read, but man, my boy's got it rough out here. Nappa and Heck as Goku is talking about how Vegeta deserves compassion and a second chance. That's a pretty accurate Nappa, I ain't gonna lie. Vegeta did kind of wipe out planets, okay? Full of people, so I honestly wonder why he was chosen and not Nappa. Flirt back, gosh dang it. How? Oh, and then flirt back, god dang it. How? Hima the hero used to say the same thing. I like how she's having a flashback of the previous. If there was one comic to summarize the entire show, I do believe this is it. I need an adult. Hi. I need an adult here, adult. I don't know why she would need it, but dang, man, that's kind of rough to say the least out there. Hey, did you guys know I'm an adult? So if you're ever in trouble, just count on me. You can trust your boy. 480p? That kind of looks like HoloCure. The little flat board of 720p. All right, we got the cutting board. And 1080p. Well, now that's just rude, all right? Now that's just rude. Sleepiness, 95%. Hissiness, 95%. The problem is, do you get up or do you try to sleep through it? The answer is typically, it's always worth just getting up and getting rid of the piss meter, all right? You have to let it go. You have to let it flow. Or, you know, if you can angle from like where you are in the bed to the toilet, you know, like, it's worth the risk. Crap, no wonder he's a master swordsman. Can't even see his sword. He's moving so quickly that the creator can get away with not drawing a proper fight scene. The point is, he's a sword master. Okay, man. If you want to do that, yeah, I guess you can. But I feel like he loses a lot of aura, all right? You lose a lot of aura if you don't draw the cool fight scenes. What were you like when you were a kid, Grandma? Well, Grandma was, well, you see... Loser. Getting bright red over a kid. How embarrassing. I've been a grandma since I was born, you know. No way, that's a lie. Not even being able to see your grandchild's face. Seriously pathetic. Once a brat, always a brat, I guess. Still teasing until that day. I guess that's kind of wholesome. All right, taking a picture of the latte, sure. And oh. All right, she picks up his mug and spits in it and puts it down. All right, challenge accepted. You've made it even better. So the censorship is always funny to me. Like, okay, how the manga actually looks with Sanji surrounded by the cooks versus how the show. I like how they got like knives, but also just huge ladles? Like what? Huge spoons or something? To be fair, I do think that the anime looks way cooler for chefs. That is more of like an Oda feel, I feel. It looks cooler. He is mine. He is only mine. Okay, grown up. Now he has permanently become mine. All right, I got a wedding. And then I also have a mini version of him now. That woman is crazy, dude. Crazy possessive. To even make a small version out there. Okay, man. It is a happy ending, you know. The man looks happy, so I mean, there's no complaints. Mimi, the door is breaking down, and they don't stop coming. fed to the rules and I hit the ground running. Did it make sense? Not to sorry. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on. Go play. What the? Gojo's holding Bochi. She actually getting him. Holy. Bochi's crazy. Uh-oh. No. Don't do it to Boch. What are you doing to her? Are you gonna crack her? Like, oh no. No shot, bro. Just vaporizes. Dang, man. All right, okay. You didn't have to do her like that, man. Bochi was just jamming out there. You're the one holding her like that. She's got social anxiety, Gojo, please. Anyway, that's gonna do it here for an anime meme special. I hope you guys had some good laughs as always. If you did, hey, check out my other stuff out there. Have some fun. But for now, mateys, I'll be sailing out to the seas with me finger and me broken lewd fingers now. These darn cats, hey!
What's better, the Ryzen 5 7500F or the 7600X? Well, the Ryzen 5 7500F is basically the 7600X, but it's got two differences. Firstly, the F means it has no integrated graphics, so you can't plug your HDMI or DisplayPort cable into your motherboard to use your PC when you've got no graphics card installed. This really isn't a problem if you've got a dedicated graphics card, which you very likely do. Now, the other difference is in the clock speed. The 7600X is rated for 105 watts and the 7500F is rated for 65 watts. Now, that wattage difference also comes with a clock speed difference. The 7500F has a base clock speed of 3.7 gigahertz compared to 4.7 gigahertz on the 7600X. And the 7500F boost clock is 5 gigahertz compared to 5.3 gigahertz on the 7600X. But this is all fluff really, because neither processor will stay at the base clock or the boost clock anyway. They'll both fluctuate up and down depending on what's required of them, and the real world difference in gaming is almost non-existent. Since the 7500F literally is the 7600X with a different tune and no graphics chip, you can just overclock the 7500F for free and you're gonna get the same performance anyway. So overall, I just get the Ryzen 5 7500F. What's better, the Ryzen 5 7500F or the 7600X? Well, the Ryzen 5 7500F is basically the 7600X, but it's got two differences. Firstly, the F means it has no integrated graphics.
You don't need an expensive CPU for gaming. All you need is one of these.
everyone, including us, has recommended the AMD Ryzen 5700X 3D for gaming on a budget at some point or another. But like, who wants to pay for a gaming PC that is out of date before you even click add to cart? Not you, but fortunately, there's a secret gaming CPU, one that goes blow for blow with the 5700X 3D and sits on a future-ready platform and, most importantly, is cheaper.
Meet the AMD Ryzen 5 7500F. We ran it through the Labs Gauntlet to find out if this off-menu CPU is the one budget-minded gamers should be targeting.
Just like we're targeting you. Yes, you, Howard. With this segue to our sponsor, Seasonic. Give life to your build efficiently and reliably with a Seasonic Focus GX power supply. You can pick one up today using our link in the video description. The 7500F isn't exactly new, so why are we covering it now? Well, the main reason is that unlike CPUs that come in retail boxes, this one is targeted at system builders and bulk buyers, and therefore has mostly flown under our radar. Now, you can find them on sites like Newegg, but at the time of writing, the most reliable place to get one for a good price
This hair took, I want to say, 4 years to grow out. Very.
These are the best possible $750 gaming PCs that you can build right now, according to my employees. Here's the deal. If you've watched my content for a while, you already know my style of putting together a budget build. I want to show you different perspectives this time. The reason these two guys got a job here at the ZTT HQ is because they're highly skilled in PC building. But honestly, I have absolutely no idea what their style of choosing parts is because every PC that they've built so far has been designed by me. Today, we're all going to find out just how skilled my supposed elite PC builders are when I tasked them with this $750 project while I was sipping on some beers with my feet propped up at the beach for a week.
I'm still confident. I'm not being deterred. I'm not feeling any different.
Now, I didn't tell you guys this, but the winner of the competition gets $200 worth of Steam gift cards. I'm going to be judging both on performance and aesthetics, and the aesthetics judging starts right now. Oh, dang! Oh, wow, I actually really like that. Oh, look at that. That looks good too. Real quickly, here's how we're gonna break down the judging. For aesthetics, each contestant can earn up to 4 total points. I'm about to assign those now, and this is obviously completely subjective. For performance though, we'll run each build through 5 different games. Cyberpunk with ray tracing, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Black Myth Wukong, Doom: The Dark Ages, and Age of Empires 2 to make sure we get a game that utilizes the CPU. Whichever build gets the better score will get 1 point for each of these titles. We'll tally up the aesthetic score and the performance score, and whoever has the most points wins. Again, the winner will receive a $200 Steam gift card.
I was very confident. I am no longer as confident.
I'm gonna win. I just know I'm gonna win. It's gonna happen.
I still think I did a pretty good job, but I'm worried that Zach is gonna lean aesthetically towards Aiden Computer for sure.
I feel like I got a lot of really, really good deals. So I think that's my biggest advantage over him.
So first up, both of you actually surprised me. Not that I was lacking confidence, but both of these actually look like you guys work here. These are like very on brand, even down to the color of red here. These look really good. So we're gonna start with how it's but I thought this was
5 red. It's 3000 CL16, but I managed to get a little bit overclocked to 3200.
How are you feeling about that?
Not good. Not good.
I'm
the Jeep. The V
isn't even a full. I wanted to use this list to see what Nick and Aiden, which you guys put into their builds. As a reminder, they kept these build prices under $750, and they could use any combination of new and used parts. The only rule about used parts was that they had to stay in the state of Pennsylvania, which both of them did apparently. I can't confirm this though. Oh, and needless to say, we recorded all this right before Ramageddon started. If you wanted to use either of these builds as inspiration, you'll have to include at least $100 extra in your budget, just as a heads up.
What is your CPU of choice in this $750 build?
So for my CPU, I went with a 5800X.
Oh, okay. AM4. All right.
Not too bad. Yep.
Okay. What about the, well, actually, I can already see what graphics card you have. This is an EVGA For the Win 3 RTX 3080. Do you remember how much you paid for it?
330 to 350-ish, somewhere in that range.
Okay, that is a great ratio for a $750 build. And what about the RAM? We got 16 or 32 gigs?
It is 32 gigabytes of G-Skill Ripjaws 5 red. It's 3000 CL16, but I managed to get a little bit overclocked to 3200.
How are you feeling about that?
Not good. Not good.
I'm still confident. I'm gonna win. I just know I'm gonna win. It's gonna happen.
All right, what's your CPU, Aiden?
It's a Ryzen 5 5600X.
Oh,
that's good though. A boost higher.
Okay, what about the GPU? This is a Radeon
6800.
6800
reference card.
Non-XT?
XT.
Okay. All right. Well, you definitely have the VRAM benefit here. The VRAM of a 6800 is 16 gigs, where you only have 10.
I have the 10 model, yeah.
I don't think that's gonna affect us today, but it very well could. And how much RAM do we have here?
We only have 16.
16 gigs of RAM.
3200.
Okay.
I believe it's CL16.
Okay, all right.
So here for Nick's red and black build, outside of the Ryzen 7 5800X, 32 gigs of DDR4, and the EVGA RTX 3080, honestly, the rest of this is pretty bad. I already mentioned that the CPU cooler from Occupus is the Gamma A40, which isn't even a full-sized 120mm fan. He did have to undervolt the 5800X a bit, but we'll see if that was good enough to keep the CPU temperatures at bay.
Your CPU is at 87 degrees at 19% utilization.
Doesn't need to use any more. Looks good.
His SSD was originally a completely fake knockoff Samsung 980 EVO that literally broke as soon as he started installing games. He eventually swapped that out to a similarly priced drive though, just for the record. On the flip side though, the power supply he might have gotten a little lucky with. I think most, if not all of us, thought that this Co-Link was a random knockoff brand that's just waiting to explode. If you check the new and improved PSU tier list though, this regulator series is actually rated tier B+. So even though it's not a popular option, the PSU reviewing experts think it's pretty decent. And although this MSI X470 Gaming Pro motherboard doesn't sound too bad on paper, apparently he had to update the BIOS 3 individual times sequentially just to get it up to the highest version. He also almost had to drive from Pittsburgh to Harrisburg, which is about 5 hours, until he convinced the seller to just finally ship it to him. It apparently arrived without any sort of shipping protections. The IO shield was just floating around the box. It's a miracle that this thing didn't have any problems. What's also a miracle is that this PC in general even functions at a stable level, because here when you see the parts list, you can tell what his exact strategy was. He went absolutely all in on getting the best possible CPU and GPU, and everything else he kind of cheaped out on for the competition. If you're building a PC at home, then this is obviously not what I would recommend doing.
I've had a bad power supply, I've had a bad SSD, and I've had my graphics card get lost in shipping for like 3 weeks. Get a good power supply, don't cheap out on storage, because sometimes it'll cost you like 8 hours of downloading, and that really sucks.
And then moving on to Aiden's build, this is the opposite approach, and honestly, we gotta give some props for his strategy. In terms of the parts list outside of the 5600X, 16 gigs of DDR4, and the RX 6800, this is a much more stable and safe set of parts that will probably last a lot longer than Nick's. The MSI X370 X-Power Gaming Titanium is old, but I'm pretty sure this was a high-quality motherboard back in the day and still seems to be pretty stable. This also highlights why we appreciate the longevity of the AM4 socket. Thank you, AMD. He also got an updated case with the Corsair 5000D. The Apevia Prestige power supply isn't the best, but still rocks a decent tier C rating. The AIO will have absolutely no problems cooling the 5600X, and that could end up helping him compared to Nick's build in the competition. And for the SSD, even though Aiden apparently threw it in the trash at some point accidentally and didn't remember until seconds before the garbage truck came down the street, this is a much more reliable silicone power drive compared to Nick's Chinese knockoff. If I was to design a $750 gaming PC, this would be way closer to what I would personally do, but unfortunately that extra money that he put into safe and reliable parts took away some of the money that he could have used to completely max out the CPU and GPU performance like Nick did.
Before we benchmark, I would guess that you might have the slight edge in performance, Nick. But I very well could be wrong with the 5600X. We'll have to wait and see. Or if games are more AMD versus NVIDIA optimized. But yeah, let's go run some benchmarks. The first benchmark we're gonna do is Cyberpunk to get ray tracing out of the way. I got the preset at 1440p medium, but I manually turned on ray tracing. So we are going to run the very first one right now. Right now. Oh, that one's loading quick. Oh, dang, Aiden, you're gonna ray trace is over. Suspect 14 C builders here at ZTT. So far, I'm only seeing one.
For Black Myth Wukong, Nick's PC got a 57 FPS average.
Wait, there's a Nikke collab coming up? I wanna see Nikke collab.
Alright, so here today we got some fun topics here, just to let you guys know. There were some free polls leaving in game. I want to let you know that those are going and get ready for that. I also wanted to show this to you because it looks like potentially, okay, I'm gonna just say potentially because Nikke has been on crack recently. I don't know what they're going for, but it looks like a major update is planned next. And no, not a standard banner, not a double standard banner, not a seasonal, some sort of collaboration or some sort of anniversary. Obviously, it makes more sense to say collaboration. Could be something else, I don't even know. I wanted to show this to you here today because there was some proof that something big is coming. And again, it's not.
I believe it's a collab.
Only possibly.
They said they were going to do somewhere about 5 collabs this year.
You know, anniversary thing like that. Okay, you'll see what I mean in a minute. Like, subscribe to Fun. Take a look at what we're cooking up. First, I need to make sure this is clear. There are some free polls you can pick up right now that I know majority of you do not even know it exists. If you click this button over here, go to rewrite memory, hit this, hit tap to enter.
What?
Now, put it up, pretty much it'll look like this. If you're in game, obviously, because you're going to be in game, don't do it on the outside, do it in game, because you're already going to be logged in. If you hit view progress, you can now view the 4 different tabs, or 5 different tabs. If you click each one, so for example, I'm gonna click this one here, there's a poll waiting for me. Now I just have to hit click, and boom, I got a freaking poll. Now, there's so many players that aren't doing this and don't know about this. Go over here, I can click this, and boom, guess what? I just got 2 polls, champ. Now go over here, go over here. Again, I'm making this clear because I know there's some players that don't even check these web events, and it's understandable. I'm not gonna say you're wrong by any means.
True.
You know, it's a web event. Sometimes I don't check them either. Just click these buttons. You can get 5 free polls right now. There was a part of this where you can like get, if you invite somebody, you can pretty much get this. So congratulations, you received 300 gems. I'm pretty sure. So share event, I can pick up more. I'm just gonna check each one. This is share. So invite 2 players. I didn't do this. So if you want to share a code, you can. Somebody apparently used my code, or I don't know how that worked. But I did claim this already. This was logged into the game. This one over here is invite 3 players. So I didn't invite 3 players. If you still want to try to invite somebody, you can. You have to click this over here and invite somebody to the game. If you do that, you pick up more rewards, but it's up to you if you want to do that. That's a different part of it. But if I can share this over here, it's pretty much simple. So give me a second, I'm going to share this. Oh, wait. Okay. Give me a second. Hit this. Game died. Okay, go back over here, hit that enter, drag this back on screen. Maybe I did it now because I clicked the button. So you don't have to actually share it, you just click the button. So I clicked the button, let's see what happens here. It was this box, I think. Yeah, claim rewards, I pick up, yeah, so I picked up all this loot over here. Pretty much the only stuff that I missed, I think, is some free gems, because I didn't share my account or share my code, people. If you do share the code, you can pick up rewards, so you can use my comment section for that or whatever. But if you do all this, pretty much, if you go out here, go out here, go out here, and click this, you can pretty much walk away with this loot, which is nice. And again, so many people aren't doing this or don't know about this.
Nice.
So, see, they put out a message over here to like let you know, but I know people aren't checking this. I know this for a fact. So one pull, one pull, one pull, one pull, 300 gems, one pull, and that. And it's pretty nice. So just do it. Quick reminder. Take care. All right. So next up, pretty much, if you've read the current patch notes, the current one, that's I think this patch notes over here. This is the update on January 29th. On this day, we're going to be picking up Velvet. Velvet is a new nikke coming to the game. I might also include Should You Summon in here just to talk about it, because my plan was to do that. And as a separate video, but I don't think you need that. It's a standard banner. I'll just give you my take here. Pretty much, though, Velvet is there. And this is the character coming soon, and the update goes until February 11th.
Velvet.
The one thing that's a little bit fishy here is the timing. This timing actually signifies when
I don't think this is going to be actually good, though.
For example, I'm going to now go
the way they release these characters.
My point, because sometimes people don't believe me. But if I show it to you,
they're just good aesthetically, not.
Frost ticket, as you can see, 459. What was after Solean Frost ticket? Everybody knows the answer to that. Solean Frost ticket ran into. Where I show it to you? This is 2025. So that was blank ticket going into Terminus ticket. Terminus ticket was seasonal. So seasonals do not count. You saw the time, 23:59. That's important. 4:59 is the normal time. So seasonals was what came after this, being obviously winter, grid, and diesel. That was there. They don't count. So 4:59 means nothing, correct? Going over here, 23:59 is important. What was after Mass Romantic Maid? The thing was, just to show it to you, it was, so for the rest, Romantic Valentine. Romantic Valentine went into Evangelion, the second quest. 20th February.
Evangelion.
This year, our collaboration is scheduled for, if this is true, February 12th.
Really?
Which is kind of close. It
no.
also makes a major update. It also means when they drop some stuff with the storyline and such like that, it could make sense. Or it could be something anniversary related. Who knows? Could be some sort of special manner we don't expect. Could be like a niche dropping out of nowhere. We don't know. It's a very weird time. The thing after that here, just to prove it to you again, just to show it to you. What was before? It was Crust. Crust was, again, 23:59. Crust was over here.
There it is.
So for the rest, True Flavor. True Flavor ran into Unbreakable Sphere. 24th of April. 24th of April. That was, again, Crust at this time running into Unbreakable Sphere. That being the actual anniversary. So, again, could be some sort of like major update. It's a Pilgrim level update. Or collaboration. More likely, collaboration. K did it again, just to prove my point. When was K? Just to show it to you. K was over here. Where is it? No, that's Go Ninja Thief. K was Lord for Justice. That ran into Memories Teller. Got it? I think I proved my point enough here, but I'll do it again. SSR Eve goes into what? SSR Eve, that's again the collaboration. That ran into
look at all my rewards.
Standard update. So 459. Pretty simple. Then again, last but not least, Delta Ninja Thief ran into what? It ran into the one, the only, Reborn Evil. So, only times this ever happens, only times this ever is a thing. For example, against Snow White ran into our previous banner, which is labeled current banner.
Yes, label.
Not major. Something's happening at this time over here. Keep that in mind.
Did I finish?
I don't know what the hell they're cooking, but something. Okay.
Let's check the missions.
That means potentially do not summon for Velvet if you're trying to. If you're already broke. Collaboration did say the first half of 2026, but we are in the first half of 2026. They purposely make the wording a little bit more obscure, so if you were like, "Oh, I have until freaking June to wait for this," no, they always say this. It could be next. It could also be something crazy. There is a storyline update planned, so remember, this is weird. A February storyline update. Could be like a surprise, a niche drop, who knows? Or again, collab. I'm just making it clear. Something fishy is there. Something's happening.
Oh, we did
again,
it.
It's not only me that brought this up. Someone over here on Reddit also brought this up, so big shout out to this dude over here. At least it's not just me being on crack cocaine. Over here, he pretty much says the same thing. During the New Year's live stream on December 29th, they announced a new collab for Q1 2026, but gave no further information. Now, looking at the update notes, we can see the update ends 12 a.m. KST. Events always end at 5 a.m. KST when the daily reset occurs. The only time that it ever changes at midnight is when we see the same thing for what? Quinn's and Rush before Resident Evil.
Oh wait, I don't have enough dock space. Suffolk, California. Hey, Kent. Jonah. London. Pensacola. Chiquita. Anta. Really? No one? All dupes? We've got Francesco twice already. Oh my. Yeah. That doesn't make any sense. Too many Francesco. Okay. Oh, she's maxed. Replaceable. Nice. Let's go do hard mode and dailies. Oh, more. Almost. Let's go. No, you're Baka. What's this? Too many coins. I sneezed. Let's do this. How'd I do? Pretty good, right? Pretty great, right? I have to sneeze again. Oh wait, I did a 10 build, but nothing happened. I need coins.
Lord for Justice, Stellar Blade. I didn't even know he listed these. I could have just shown it to you here, but
Windows. Jake is gone.
I'm having a great time right now. It's been 30 minutes of trying to install one program. Holy. You ever feel like Windows just keeps getting worse? It's almost like every week they add more bloat, adds half-baked updates on features that already work just fine, and slide in AI crap where it shouldn't be. Not to mention making it harder and harder to have any semblance of privacy while you use the damn thing. I could go on, but I'm sick of it. I just wish there was something other than Windows that you could run on your PC, whether it's for business or for pleasure. Whoa! What's that? Oh, God? Is that you?
But you shall have a task to make you an example in these dark times. To use Linux, because, well, I think you'll like it. It's probably fun.
Good idea, oh Lord!
Of course it's a good idea. Behold, look well upon this. This is us.
Good idea.
This is your task.
Said the penguin.
This is what you must embrace and construct and experience Linux.
A blessing from the Lord.
God be praised.
Look well upon it. This is your quest.
But Linux is open source and I thought it sucks for gaming and is ugly and hard to use. Sure, that's what we've been told. But thanks to Valve's massive economic dong, brute forcing Linux adoption with the Steam Deck and soon to be Steam Machine, and the huge buff that's had to the Linux
Steam
user base,
Machine.
it begs the question, is it possible? Hell, maybe even better to run Linux on your computer for gaming or productivity than Windows or macOS. And to find out, I'm going to spend the next month of my life locked away from both, daily driving Linux on every computer I own so that you don't have to. And who knows, maybe it's gonna be great. Now, to be clear, I already use Linux in my home lab and on servers all the time.
Linux
so the
and
fact that I've
servers.
never daily driven it is frankly kind of embarrassing. So delay no longer. Where do we start? Where do you download a Linux? This is where things already start to get complicated. You see, the Linux project at its core is just a kernel, which is kind of like the engine of your operating system. Naturally, it's a very important piece. It basically acts as the glue between your hardware and the software, but you also need a couple other pieces, like, tires and suspension and whatnot, before we can take this proverbial high road to enlightenment. Now, what we actually want to download is a Linux distro or distribution, and those come with all those other pieces already included. You probably heard of distros like Ubuntu or Mint, except there's actually thousands of flavors, all the way from Hannah Montana Linux to whatever the this is. It's honestly a bit overwhelming. So I
Hannah
did
Montana.
what any sane person should, and I asked Twitter which distro I should use. Lesbian. What the There were hundreds of suggestions. I downloaded a sketchy Chrome extension that let me scrape all the replies, put them into a big list, and we were left with the Twitter Linux leaderboard, upon which four
Leaderboard.
distros shone above the rest: Fedora, CachyOS, Arch,
82.
and Bazite. As somebody who kind of likes
82.
going fast, I was immediately drawn to CachyOS. It's a version of one of the main Linux distros called Arch. Yep, but what makes CachyOS interesting is how much faster it is than pretty much
Ooh, I
anything
got the new
else.
character. Let's go check her out. Hajimemashite. Vivaldi. Italian near me, looks like a tap here. Hearts. Yep, I see it. Nice, got it. Coins, still don't have enough. Whatever. Give me 500 coins. 5,000. Alright, let's go. Build. Yes. I know what I'm doing. Norfolk. Rodney. Portland. Nevada. Portland. Hey, Kent. Sussex. Enrichelia. Sussex. No, I didn't get her. I got an SSR, but I couldn't get the elite. So mad. Okay, makes sense, makes sense. Oh, couldn't get anything. Something about the merit. Nope, she's gone. All that's left is this. Collection. Whoops. Meant to do that earlier. Okay. I need mats. I need materials. I need ships. Lime. Can't upgrade lime. Go. Uh-huh. What level are these guys? 75? 88. Okay. It's gonna take a while.
ねじ伏せるわ。
射程内に真理あり。進め、進むのだ。これは命の子守歌よ。
戦いが早く終わりますよ。命の子守歌よ。
Next.
自然に抗おうとするなんて。
I'll just do one of these war archives. Oh, man. Okay. Let's get materials. Oh, that's gonna take so long. I need a better mouse. I need a better mouse. Sensitivity. Wait. Oh, did he see it?
Thanks to everyone that came to the stream. Take care of yourselves.
No, too short.
I found out something crazy, right? There is a VTuber ovulation tracker, and it what? Fuck, sorry. Hi, that's okay. My bad. I did not. Forget what I just said.
Oh.
Forget what I just said. What the fuck I said? Homeless? We're not homeless? Wait, why would you be homeless to begin with? We're not homeless? Did the twins give you a home? Hi, I'm playing Hytale. Wait! Speaking of Hytale, sorry, I've been living under a rock. Are the twins playing Hytale? Because I know they've used to at least play Minecraft. Are they doing Hytale too? That'd be sick. Hello, chat. Hello. No? Okay. That's alright. Maybe at some point. Thank you so much, Weevil, for the raid. Thank you! Appreciate it. I was about to take a shit, but it's not quite there yet. I was about to take a fat dump, but
oh no.
Plans changed. It has to cook a little more. Ovulation tracker is down, is it? VTuber ovulation tracker. I looked up myself today on there, and it's it is indeed down. Did the swarm just do you? You guys should take it down. It was literally, it was up and functional. Like when I checked today, unironically. The one. Okay, so I found out today. This morning, I found out there is an ovulation tracker. Yes, you heard that right. Someone made an ovulation tracker where they track every VTuber's period. I don't know why, but I looked it up and it does track it. So, there, do with that information whatever you want.
Nice.
Is Vito on there? I don't... Vito! I don't know if Vito's on there. I don't think the twins... The twins don't... They don't... No, they're too young and innocent for that. Like, AIs don't have periods, do they? Vito said he's an ovulation tracker? How does this man ovulate? What? How does this man ovulate, bro? What the heck? That's crazy. Well, I think the swarm just made the website go down because it was literally up this morning when I checked. When I got word of when I discovered its existence.
Yeah.
This morning it was still there. Mpreg Vidal? What? She saw it? Of course I saw that! The fuck? What? Hello? Lost, thank you for the gifted subby. Thank you so much. Mpreg Vidal is criminal. From Honey? Honey my god?
Mpreg. Maybe. Wait, dual 5090s? Who would do that? Monster.
This was the fastest PC that I've ever built. 2 RTX 5090s, the latest 64-core Threadripper, 128 gigabytes of RAM. It's so fast it needed a 2200 watt power supply just to keep it running. But there's one major problem. This top GPU is overheating. And I don't mean just like a little bit warm. That top GPU is hitting 87 degrees C after just a few minutes of rendering. At that point, the fans are screaming, the temperatures are way too hot.
Rendering,
and I'm
yes,
actually
totally.
losing a bit of performance from that GPU as well. Basically, I have no option but to try and fix this. At least, I'm gonna try to, because I've never liquid cooled anything close to the amount of heat load that this thing is pushing out. But let's start with the easy part, the CPU. This is a Threadripper 9980X, 64 cores, 128 threads, and believe it or not, it actually doesn't need as much cooling as you think, especially out of the box. Still though, we are hooking it up to the custom
these are level
and for
70,
that, I've
easy.
gone with this block here from Heatkiller. Finding a Threadripper water block was actually surprisingly difficult, but no complaints with this one at all. Full coverage, really clean, and the mounting is super straightforward. But now for the hard part, tearing down these 5090s. It's a shame because this super efficient 2-slot cooler design on the new FE cards is one of my favorite things about them. I've got to be really careful not to break anything here, so there's still the option to go back to them. I'm also going to tear down both at the same time because there's a lot of steps. The first few are simple enough. We've got the IO bracket at the rear with a bunch of screws underneath there as well, and then there's 2 more screws at the other end. Then there's this hourglass piece on the backplate that's held in with magnets. I wedged a little plastic scraper tool in there, which seemed to work pretty well. Then we've got 4 more screws here, which lock in those 2 side parts on the backplate, and this is where it gets really weird. The PCIe connector on the Founders Edition GPUs are actually a separate piece. It's connected here with 6 more screws and its own little retention bracket. I'm being very careful with this part because, yeah, you don't want to break this. You're probably thinking that this is insane over-engineering for a GPU by now, but it gets even crazier. After that, we've got 4 more screws holding in the main part of the backplate, which we lift off and reveal the insanely dense back portion of the PCB. Then we get to one of the more tedious parts, these tiny cables. One of them is this tiny 2-pin cable with a sliding latch, And then there are 2 more ribbon cables with latches that need to be carefully lifted up. If you have a small tool, like a toothpick, that will make this a lot easier. Then there's this part right here. This is actually the connector for the rear I/O. All of your 4K ray traced frames are sent right through this thing here, which is just so insane. From there, we've got the 4 main screws clamping the GPU down to the heatsink, and I was super careful here. I barely did 1 full screw turn at a time just to make sure it releases as evenly as possible. Even the retention bracket is just straight up nuts when you really take a look at it, because NVIDIA don't use any springs for mounting, it's just the pure tension that you get from this pre-bent bracket. And that's it. We can now lift up the main ingredient of what makes an RTX 5090. I knew this thing was small and dense, but holding it in person and seeing how close all of the components are together, man, it is just something else. I mean, the GPU itself is massive, the GDDR7 memory stacked so closely it's practically overlapping, and don't forget this board also includes all of the dense power circuitry as well. There's basically no room for anything else. Making the circuit board this small is one of the main reasons the cooling is so good on the 5090 FE. Air can push right through the heatsink and right past the circuit board completely unobstructed. Liquid metal is also one of those reasons, allowing for a higher thermal conductivity to the heatsink. We'll be reapplying this with something fresh in just a minute. And there's actually one more thing. We still need that I/O cable if we want to make a complete GPU. These are the last steps to completely disassembling this card. Removing the fans, wrestling with the heatsink and the annoying clips that it's held in by, and then super carefully removing that insane connector after applying a bit of heat. And that's it. That's the 5090 FE completely torn down like 8 million parts later. And then fast forward a bit of time later, here they are with the water blocks installed. And man, just take a look at these.
Let's do something with the parts. Friend.
So you have OLED, new PC components, Nvidia 50 series, gaming peripherals, AI upscaling, frame gen, 360Hz and all sorts of crazy stuff. But the people reviewing them get to review new tech pretty much every week, and they forget that the average person upgrades their setup once every decade. So let me explain how it feels to try out new tech for the first time, and which is overrated and which is worth it. And let's see how a high-end PC from 8 years ago compares to a high-end PC from today. And I don't just mean gaming benchmarks, I mean literally everything. I bought all the hardware with the money that I made from sponsors and ads. And today's sponsor is actually a really cool looking game that combines anime and gaming, so if you're into that, stick around. Stella Sora is an adventure RPG that came with really cool graphics and a design that combines good story, exploration, random adventures, action and many more. You can play it on PC, Android and iOS. It's filled with cute characters of all sorts, from cool witches to knights with glitter. The game doesn't look you in a fixed path either. You can customize your journey and make choices that shape the future of your adventure, choose your strategy, persona and steer the narrative. You can select 3 of your favorite characters, build a solid team comp with them and take on the monolith, in which you choose between random perks after completing every floor. There's tons of variety. And speaking of characters, you get to meet distinct personalities and connect with them through messages and adventures. And it doesn't just stop at story mode, you can take on roguelike trials with lots of different skill combinations and tactics, diverse game modes and engaging dynamic challenges fit for both casual and competitive players that want to push their skill and reflexes. It has something for everyone. The Radiant Messenger Holy Night Spirit event takes place between December 23rd and January 12th. And if you participate, you'll get a max 5-star disc for free. During this time, you can also log in to get free pulls, including limited tracker banners and limited disc banners. The event also brings a new limited 5-star versatile tracker, Snowish Lotto. This game looks intriguing, so I'll give it a try. If you want to join me, use code SNOWISHFEST to get a bunch of rewards. So here's the specs for my old PC and here's the new one. The order in which I'm going to present them is going to be based on impact. And if you're wondering how I'm making these shots, I just got my new phone stuck in my microphone arm stand and somehow it works. Anyway, one of my biggest upgrades was my monitor. I went from 1080p to 1440p, from 144Hz to 360 and from VA to OLED. For a really long time I thought that 1440p was maybe 20% better than 1080p, but nope, it's almost double and the difference is very visible. Especially if you're doing work on your desktop or you're working with text. Because I spent a lot of time on my screen, this resolution and screen upgrade actually made me see a lot better IRL because I saw that my vision was getting a bit blurry, and I would definitely recommend getting a good monitor. The only issue I have with 1440p is consuming content in 1080p because it looks pretty bad on it. I would say that OLED is actually pretty overhyped. I mean, it's kinda nice, but it's not really that impressive. I would say that panel quality is the most important thing in a monitor rather than panel type. The only time I noticed OLED while gaming was when I played also because it's mostly black, and whenever I'm on my desktop because I have a black background. Also, people think that 360Hz is gonna give them an advantage in competitive shooters, but I wouldn't really say that's the case. After 144 or 240, it doesn't really help you see enemies faster. They pretty much appear at the same time, it's just smoother when they move along. So basically you're not really gonna get that big of an advantage or react faster, but it is going to feel much smoother. Also, it makes a very tiny difference on the center of your screen where you're actually gonna be looking at the enemies, but it makes a massive difference on the corners of your screen where the whole world is moving around and the movement is amplified. And it makes everything so much smoother and more enjoyable, and I outright refuse to play a game like Minecraft or Valorant on a 144Hz monitor again. I don't even associate high refresh rate with competitive gaming anymore. For me, it's just about smoothness now. I like bright colors, so for me, anime games or stuff like Overwatch look really cool. Or, you know, Stella Sora, but the second you heard sponsor, you just went... If you care about monitors and competitive gaming hardware, you should watch this guy. In fact, I kinda stole some of his shots. Overall, unlike the other monitor, it doesn't make me feel uneasy at times or in longer gaming sessions. I don't have any headaches and everything just feels so perfectly smooth and amazing. But for this you need a really good PC as well, because if your 1% lows are bad, it's a horrible experience. And obviously the CPU was my biggest upgrade. In fact, originally I didn't even want to upgrade my whole PC, I just wanted to upgrade my CPU, because all I did was play League and edit videos. But I couldn't really upgrade my CPU without changing all of this stuff because it's a different socket and I have to change so many components, so I decided I might as well build a new PC. I'm not going to show you boring benchmarks, so let's look at actual practical examples. Something like opening a browser or a simple app is almost instant with this new CPU. And then there's very CPU heavy games like League and Valorant, which I used to play a lot. The problem wasn't only that I had low FPS, but that they would get lower the longer the game would go in League, crucial moments like teamfights, or whenever an enemy would show up in Valorant. Those are the times where you need your FPS most, and it's also where I dropped from like 100 to 60 FPS. So you could tell that would be really bad for my in-game performance, especially because I used to play at a competitive level.
Holy movements! Diana's cooking.
But I do talk about gaming quite a bit. Keep in mind every single thing that I do on my whole PC is about 10 times faster with this new CPU. So all of the stuff that I talked about earlier with high refresh rate and smoothness and the cool monitor only works because I have high FPS in games. The actual smooth feeling of playing these isn't only because of the high FPS, but it's because they never really dip below 360. Even if I would have 400 FPS average in a game, but in the crucial moments it would drop to like 250, 280, I would still feel that and it wouldn't feel smooth at all. So keeping those 1% low FPS above the monitor refresh rate is what feels like absolute smoothness. But keep in mind this also depends on the game and a bunch of other factors. And now it's time for the fun part, because I'm going to be doing some performance benchmarks to see if a better PC makes me a better gamer. Before the tests, let's see the general gaming experience. And for all the people that almost have an aneurysm every time they hear Valorant, I decided to give CS2 a try. My options were to play against cheaters, Faceit, or bots. And bots were the fastest to set up, so here we are. CS2 is kind of like Overwatch to me. Even though I don't enjoy the game itself, it runs so well at such high FPS with really good graphics to the point of which it's actually enjoyable to play because of it. I'm sitting there enjoying the performance more than I am the game itself. It's a bit hypnotizing to see this performance and nice colors on it with OLED as well. And when it comes to League and Valorant, I don't even consider performance. It's perfectly smooth at all times. Overall, the frame rate is really solid even at 2K on max settings, and I never feel any sort of stutters, and it feels perfectly smooth on my main PC. There's not much to say here. It was running at 100 FPS, it felt really choppy and unenjoyable, and there was a lot of screen tearing. The only upside is that the FPS was actually kind of stable, so it wasn't dipping really badly when I was fighting. The only way I made it even slightly playable was by turning down the graphics until they look like this, which is, I mean, it's literally worse than CS Source. But at least it was playable. It's really hard to explain the feelings or experience in the 60 FPS YouTube video, but I guess the closest thing I can do is a slow motion recording of my screen playing on my old PC versus my new one. It just kind of feels like there's something constantly dragging me down and holding me back and distracting me the whole time. And I also felt this in Overwatch, Apex and other games of the sort. So what I just described is low versus high FPS. And honestly, it would be completely fine playing competitive games on a smooth 200. But you know what's worse than 140 FPS? 170 FPS. What do you mean 170? 170 is better than one that drops in the most important moments. So let me show you what I mean. Here I'm playing on 200 FPS, which is not bad at all, and the second I start fighting it drops to 150, and it stays at 150 or drops even more the longer I fight. You know, not optimal, getting distracted by the enemy and the FPS, but it gets even worse, because then they execute the side. So this absolute joke of a character entries and starts jumping around, and I realize I'm not killing that with a pistol, especially not on 130 FPS. So then I ignore him and start aiming at the smoke so I can kill whoever comes out next. Guess I'll die. But riot moments aside, guess what I had during this entire fight? No bitches. Constant FPS drops in the most important moments and 1% lows of 70. It was a very unenjoyable experience. I got mad quite a few times and it just felt unplayable. My scores were also considerably worse. Meanwhile, on my new PC it was perfectly smooth even while executing sites, and there were a lot of abilities being thrown down. It would never dip in the 1% lows or feel choppy at any point. I'm getting inted in a benchmark, that's crazy. On my old PC I used to be around Plat 1 or Plat 2, and on my new PC I got to high diamond and I was kinda clapping higher MMR players. That's a pretty big difference, and I'm a mostly macro player, so my aim is quite bad. For somebody that has good mechanics, it would make an even bigger difference. But keep in mind this also includes a mouse upgrade in which I went from this abomination to the super light. I really like this mouse for League and it's very comfortable, but it's absolutely horrible for shooters. I would say that my increase in performance is half mouse, half PC, which is kinda crazy because the mouse was only $100, which is also the price of this high-end artisan mousepad, which I could personally not see any difference with. Now let's get into the range test. On my old PC I was quite snappy and fast, and I was hitting a lot of them, even though I was missing more than usual. Performance-wise, I didn't see a massive difference, it was just more uncomfortable than it would normally be. Probably because I had a smooth 200 FPS without any frame drops, unlike the real game as we just saw. On my new PC I moved just as fast, but it was a bit easier to control. On the reaction test for my old one I got an average of 16, and on the new PC I got 17.5. Okay, enough about competitive games, that was quite the long section. Windows thinks it can force me to update. Well, joke's on you, cause I am in control here. Wait, no, I forgot the Valorant clip. Now let me talk about the most underrated upgrade, which is the SSD. It's an easy and cheap upgrade that makes everything so much faster and you have more storage too. So here's what booting up the old PC feels like. First of all, it's quite loud, and then it randomly started making this sound. It took 58 seconds to get to the desktop, and then another 20 for the apps to actually be usable because I couldn't really click on anything. And yes, I get flashbanged every time. On average it takes a minute and a half to load my old PC. For reference, on my new PC it takes about 10 seconds from when I press the power button to be loaded into Discord, my browser, and have everything running. But Korean, why are you using Windows? You should be using this. It's also nice that my folders load in about 0.5 seconds rather than 15 seconds. And oh boy did I forget how annoying it is to install games. Let's see how long it takes to extract the 3GB archive. The new one took 20 seconds and the old one took 2 minutes. And if you thought that was bad, wait till you see the official game installers. In Path of Exile 2 I knew I was cooked when I saw the allocating space moving like Kyrie in his prime, and then the old SSD, I mean at least it's trying. The old one took 1 hour and 40 minutes on 0 system load, and the new one took 25 minutes while editing. To load into the game for the first time on my main PC took about 6 seconds, and this is the live footage, and the other one took 2 minutes and 41 seconds, and then it was still laggy. And it's about a lot of the small stuff that adds up, like this verifying file integrity in Genshin took me a couple seconds on my main, but on my old PC it literally took 10 minutes. What FPS does also run at? How does that even happen? That's 3 frames per millisecond. When it comes to the 50 series, pretty much every YouTuber has been hating on Nvidia for their business practices and taking it out on the 50 series. And then they compare something like a last generation 4080 with a 5080. But one thing that they're a bit disillusioned to is that people don't really upgrade from the last generation of graphics card to the new one that just came out. Usually the people upgrading have way older hardware, and then when they see something like a 5070 which has a lot of FPS for a relatively low cost, it's actually a really good deal. Don't get me wrong, Nvidia has a lot of issues, especially with how they treat marketing. And some 50 series cards were really bad, but some are also the best upgrades you can currently make. And speaking about unfair criticism towards Nvidia, let's talk about the frame generation and AI upscaling. Frame gen is pretty simple. You just take 2 real frames and you use AI to figure out what would go in between those 2 frames. That way you can use AI generated frames to have more FPS. As a player, you don't notice the AI generated frames, you just see a higher frame rate. Unless you drop your FPS down to 30 and then you use 4 times frame gen and it looks horrible and it has a lot of visual artifacts. You'll never guess what the YouTubers did. I absolutely love frame gen. It's one of the coolest applications of AI that I've ever seen. But you're not supposed to enable frame gen on 30 FPS. I like playing any game on at least 140 FPS, otherwise it doesn't really feel good to me. Whenever I have a game running on 80 FPS, frame gen is really useful there. And games like Cyberpunk that have a lot of motion and action look way better on 200-ish FPS than 100. So I just use frame gen, and I don't notice any sort of artifacts and I really enjoy it. It adds a little bit of input delay, but it's not really noticeable in single-player games. The only problem I see here is if devs think that this will be the industry standard and they don't optimize their games anymore, assuming that everybody will just generate frames with AI and downscale their games. But oh well, most new games aren't optimized anyway, people just kind of gave up on that. I was gonna make a whole section on AI upscaling, ray tracing, path tracing, but honestly there's many videos that already do it really well and go in depth. I just don't really see why I'd get into it, just watch those videos. Instead I'll give you my opinion. I don't use AI upscaling because I don't really notice a difference, and if I want more frames I'm just gonna turn on frame gen. I usually don't use ray tracing because I don't really see the difference that it makes while I'm playing the game, but occasionally if I'm playing Hogwarts Legacy or Cyberpunk I might turn it on and then use frame gen as well. When it comes to path tracing, I don't feel like it has a purpose in games. It's usually made for renders. Most of the time you're never gonna use it in actual games. When it comes to playing these games on a high-end PC, all I can say is that it's not something that will completely shock you. It's not like you're gonna look at the graphics and feel like it's unreal, but rather it's more like going from really bad internet where your videos constantly stutter to watching them without interruptions. You can actually focus on the video itself, and that's how I feel about the gaming. It's simply a smooth, enjoyable experience, and I don't really worry about performance too often. And you know, if it runs like shit for me, it runs like shit for everyone else. So speaking of performance, this video's gonna do really bad with the algorithm. So if you liked it so far, I'd appreciate if you'd share it with people that might as well. When it comes to my audio setup, here's my new SM7B, which is a $600 audio setup, and this is my old $80 mic. They do sound pretty similar, but this one is a bit more annoying to edit because the audio spikes are pretty bad and it doesn't equalize audio too well. I do have to say the new one is easier to edit and nicer to stream with, but the difference in audio clarity isn't that big and I was quite disappointed at first. So for most people I'd say just get a $200 USB mic and you're gonna be completely fine. You can't really tell the difference between that and this. I mean, there's barely any difference between the $80 one and this. Also, don't spend too much on an audio interface, it does nothing, you're just getting charged for no reason. Bruh, how am I even gonna title this video? Like, what is this even about? Anyway, I gotta finish this up real quick and upload because I'm really tight on the deadline. And if you made it this far, I'm assuming you're one of those people that watches all of my videos regardless of topic, in which case, you know, shout out to you, that's really cool. And see you in the next one. It's gonna be a programmer versus RuneScape video in 2 weeks. It's gonna be really cool. I just hope it doesn't flop, to be honest, because it's a really nice project. I also made a bunch of extra social media, like a second channel and Instagram and stuff. It's all linked to my channel. Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching. Bye!
Consequence. A result or effect, typically one that is unwelcome or unpleasant. Now, I'm sure that this definition would work out in most situations, but when it comes to this incident that we're going to discuss, unpleasant is a massive understatement. Because how else would you explain posting a video defending yourself in the face of consequences and getting one of the worst like to dislike ratios I've ever seen in my entire life? How else would you explain community notes that are so ruthless that they put you in physical pain when you read them, all while your sponsors join in the chaos and start canceling their contracts with you? I mean, really, is unpleasant truly a word that can describe how bad this is when there's an NBA team that's making fun of you on their TikTok page? When you screwed up so hard that your name is now used as cultural lingo to signify a bad player in a multiplayer game? I mean, seriously, how the hell did it get so bad? Well, at its essence, this incident wasn't centered on a game or a community. This was something that everyone can understand, a victim standing up to his very ruthless bullies. They held more power and influence over him and managed to cause considerable damage. He was framed, and they tarnished his reputation. He would then, all alone, stand up for himself. And when the community had his back, the bullies would not only double down, they would triple down and quadruple down, never once apologizing to him. This truly showed us how vile they truly were as they were being cornered by, well, the entire internet. So no wonder this escaped containment outside of the Marvel Rivals community and into the mainstream. You now have people, both young and old, wondering what happened, asking, hey, can I get details about this? And I mean, of course they would, because this story not only plays out like a classic movie plotline, it also has an extremely satisfying ending. However, the ending is even more satisfying if you truly understand every aspect that led up to it. And seeing that there's a lot of details involved, I figured we have to talk about it, which is why I'm making this video. So without further ado, here's the full story of how Kingsman stood up to his 3 bullies and won. Let's do this. Alright, so first things first, who the hell is Kingsman 265? Well, before even starting to upload videos or create content, he was someone who had already spent time in first-person shooter games, most notably Hyperscape, a Ubisoft game that came out in 2020. According to him, he played this game back when he was 16 years old, and he was so good at it that at some point he was #1 on the leaderboard. Quite the achievement, especially since this game had a crazy learning curve. That unfortunately wouldn't last, because the game would prove to be unpopular and shut down very shortly after. This is when he would make the move to Apex. And just like in Hyperscape, the guy was very skilled too, achieving top ranks consistently. For Kingsman though, everything would change when Marvel Rivals would come out on December 6th, 2024. This is when he would pivot to it full time. And just like in the other games he played, he was also incredibly skilled here, reaching top 500 in multiple roles using multiple heroes, while also managing to become the rank 1 Magic player, a character that's not even ranked at the top of the meta. Look, by this point it was obvious, Kingsman wasn't just talented at Marvel Rivals, he was talented in general in competitive games. Unfortunately though, this ridiculous level of skill wouldn't translate into much viewership.